Have you ever wondered why life can sometimes feel like a constant battle against disappointment, frustration, or pain? Over 1,500 years ago, Gautama Buddha asked the same question and found a revolutionary path to freedom from suffering. He called it the Four Noble Truths, a roadmap that remains just as vital in today's chaotic world. In this guide, we'll delve into these profound teachings to see how they can help you break free from life's struggles, find inner peace, and live with greater clarity and compassion. The origin of the Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths are the cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy, stemming from the moment Gautama Buddha achieved enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. After years of ascetic practices and spiritual searching, he realized the roots of human suffering and how to resolve them. Instead of keeping these insights hidden, he began to share them widely. First in the deer park at Sarnath, so that all beings could experience liberation. In essence, the Four Noble Truths are Buddha's concise description of why we suffer and how to stop. Think of them as a doctor's diagnosis and prescription. They clarify the nature of the problem, identify its cause, confirm that healing is possible, and outline the treatment. Over centuries, this simple structure has guided countless monks and laypeople to a more peaceful, purposeful life. Even in our modern age, its wisdom resonates because it addresses not just outer conditions, but the very mindset that underlies our pain. The first noble truth, the reality of suffering. Dukkha. The first noble truth states that suffering, dukkha, is an inherent part of existence. This doesn't mean life is only suffering, but rather that challenges like illness, aging, loss, and dissatisfaction touch everyone. Buddha noticed that even pleasurable experiences carry the seed of suffering because they inevitably change or end. We cling to what we love and loathe what we dislike, creating an ongoing cycle of emotional turbulence. It's important to note that dukkha often translates to suffering, but it can also mean unsatisfactoriness. In other words, even when our basic needs are met, a sense of discontent can linger. Why aren't we perfectly happy once we have comfort, success, or recognition? Buddha concluded that some deeper cause must be at play, something beyond external circumstances. By recognizing this truth, we begin to look inward instead of blaming external events for our unhappiness. In daily life, reflecting on the first noble truth encourages us to see our experiences for what they are, fleeting, changeable, and often out of our control. This recognition, rather than making us depressed, can motivate us to seek a more stable form of well-being that isn't shaken by life's ups and downs. The second noble truth, the cause of suffering. Samudaya. Having identified that suffering permeates our lives, Buddha probed its origins. He discovered that our suffering primarily arises from craving or attachment, the relentless desire for pleasure, avoidance of pain, and longing for things to be different than they are. Called tanha in Pali, this craving manifests in many forms: longing for a better job, pining for someone else's success, or desperately wanting to avoid uncomfortable emotions. According to Buddha, the issue isn't that we have wants or needs, it's our clinging to them. We mistakenly believe that by obtaining certain things or conditions, we'll finally secure lasting happiness. But since all things are impermanent, chasing them leads to a perpetual cycle of temporary relief followed by renewed yearning. Think of it like a treadmill. You run faster to catch the next desirable thing, only to realize you're still in the same place of discontent. Understanding the second noble truth reveals how our mindset traps us in dukkha. When we blindly follow cravings, we fuel stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. This insight isn't about denying ourselves joy. Rather, it's about recognizing that joy dependent on external factors will always be fragile. Freeing ourselves from the grip of craving opens the door to a more stable, enduring contentment that doesn't vanish whenever circumstances shift. The third noble truth, the end of suffering, Nirodha. If suffering arises from craving, then logically, it can also end when we let go of that craving. This revelation is the third noble truth. Buddha's assurance that liberation, nirvana, is possible. It answers the deep-seated fear many people have that life must always be marked by unease. In essence, if we can uproot the causes of dissatisfaction, then peace isn't just a distant hope, it's an attainable reality. Nirodha, cessation, doesn't imply that life becomes free from challenges. Rather, it means we're no longer enslaved by them. We learn to experience both joys and sorrows without the constant grasping or aversion that stirs inner turmoil. Buddha described this state as unshakable freedom of mind, where we see the world clearly without getting lost in desires or fears. For modern readers, the third noble truth is both comforting and motivating. It tells us that no matter how entrenched our habits of stress or discontent, transformation remains within reach. Even small steps like practicing mindfulness, refining our intentions, or learning compassion can begin chipping away at the mental patterns that keep us bound. Each moment spent in mindful awareness or kind action helps cultivate the conditions for lasting tranquility. The fourth noble truth, the path to liberation, Magga. Finally, the fourth noble truth offers the eightfold path, which Buddha likened to a prescription or method for ending suffering. Comprising right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, this path outlines ethical, mental, and cognitive training that frees us from craving's grip. It's essentially a comprehensive life practice encompassing how we think, speak, and act in the world. Each right in the Eightfold Path indicates a balanced approach, avoiding extremes and ensuring we align with Buddha's core values of compassion, understanding, and non-harm. For instance, right livelihood means earning a living in a way that doesn't exploit or harm others, while right mindfulness encourages staying present rather than drifting into regrets of the past or anxieties about the future. What makes this path so powerful is its practicality. You can apply it whether you're meditating or buying groceries, whether you're a monk or an office worker. Buddha never intended his teachings to be abstract philosophy. He aimed for them to be lived day by day as a means to reduce suffering in all areas of life. Embracing this path doesn't guarantee instant transformation, but it sets you on a trajectory toward greater peace, clarity, and moral integrity. Applying the four noble truths in modern life. Life in the 21st century may differ drastically from ancient India, but the mental and emotional struggles remain strikingly similar. Stress, burnout, interpersonal conflicts, and a sense that something's missing. The Four Noble Truths serve as a timeless framework to address these problems at their roots. First, recognize suffering by naming what's causing you distress, whether it's work stress or relational tension, without denial or blame. Then, identify craving by asking yourself what you're clinging to: approval, control, material possessions, and noticing how this intensifies your discomfort. Next, believe in relief, remembering that peace becomes possible as you release rigid expectations and learn to navigate life with openness. Finally, practice the path by gradually integrating moral discipline, mindfulness, and focused effort. You might start with a short morning meditation or reflect on how to align your job with compassionate values. Even small steps can yield surprising benefits. A daily mindfulness session, for instance, can help you catch unhelpful thought loops before they spiral, while aligning your lifestyle with non-harm reduces stress in relationships and fosters goodwill. Over time, these incremental changes can amount to a significant shift in how you experience your day-to-day reality. Common misconceptions about suffering and freedom. Some people worry that acknowledging suffering means becoming negative, or that letting go of attachment means giving up on happiness. Buddha's teachings clarify these misunderstandings. Recognizing suffering doesn't mean wallowing in misery. It's about honestly seeing the challenges so you can respond skillfully. Letting go of craving doesn't kill your joy. It actually creates space for genuine, unclouded happiness that doesn't vanish the moment conditions change. Another misconception is that the path demands rigid asceticism. In fact, Buddha advocated a middle way, steering clear of both indulgence and self-punishment. The aim is balance and discernment, not extremes. You're free to enjoy life's pleasures, good food, art, or friendship, without clinging to them as the source of your identity or fulfillment. When you understand that your well-being isn't solely dependent on external factors, you gain a resilient contentment that endures through life's ebbs and flows. The real power of the Four Noble Truths. Beyond mere theology or philosophy, the Four Noble Truths serve as a living practice. They offer a way to reinterpret every stressful event, each emotional reaction, and each life decision through the lens of awareness and compassion. Over centuries, monks and lay practitioners alike have used these truths to transform their outlook, demonstrating that this path isn't an archaic relic but a vital, human-centric approach to finding fulfillment. When we see that suffering is universal, we grow more compassionate toward ourselves and others. No one is exempt from hardship. We grasp that clinging fuels dissatisfaction, so we become more flexible and open. Realizing that freedom is possible gives us hope and a clear direction for self-improvement. Finally, the Eightfold Path guides us day by day, reminding us that each choice matters on the road to liberation. In a sense, the Four Noble Truths empower you to become your own healer, diagnosing and treating the very roots of your emotional and spiritual aches. At its heart, the Four Noble Truths show that suffering is neither permanent nor inevitable. By acknowledging what causes our distress and following the path to release it, we can experience a profound shift in how we live and relate to others. What part of this wisdom speaks to you most right now? Share your reflections in the comments. And if you're eager to explore more about Buddha's teachings and practical steps toward inner peace, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Monk Mindset. May your path be one of growing insight and freedom.